Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. We need to go up here, which you can't see it. I have made some changes to the website and always trying to improve. We're looking at literal equations, and let's go down to this one here. So we've got, it says solve for x, so we always start with something easy there. So we've got x minus a is equal to 0. Okay, so x minus a is equal to 0. So we want to solve for x in this problem. So I'm hoping this should be trivial to you. So we add a to both sides. We'll put plus a up here. How's that? And then we just rewrite this. So as you can see, minus a plus a cancels out, and we're left with x is equal to a. And guess what? We are done. We're done. So we're over here at GoToMath.com. Oh, we need to go back to the website, don't we? Okay. Let's see. Let's type it in. X is equal to a. I about just went on to the next website there. So we got correct. Of course, you can always click on the answer, remember, and get that. All right. Solve for x. What else? I guess that's about it. That's about, if we don't want to click on that. Alright, so come on by GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. Let's go right up here. I've made some changes, hopefully for the better. So we have, so solve for x right here. We're going to have x minus a is equal to b. X minus a is equal to b. So let's write that out. X minus a is equal to b. All right. So we want to isolate x over here on the left. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a to both sides. And so minus a plus a, that'll cancel out. And we'll be left with b plus a. B plus a. Alright, pretty simple. Okay. So let's go ahead and type that in. X is equal to b plus a. Now let me make let me mention something here, and that is a plus b and b plus a are the same. But this is the particular form right here that I've got it programmed to deal with. So if you typed it in as x is equal to a plus b, well, it's still right. Okay. And of course, you can click up here and see what the answer is if you can't figure out what goes in there. All right. Okay. So we're over here at somewhere. We're over here at GoToMath.com. You want to come on by, practice. We've got a ton of problems. Bye. Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. Come up here, click Algebra. You might have noticed there's been some changes made, hopefully for the better. Okay, so this is what we got going on here. We've got ax plus b is equal to c. Now let me just say, this is not the answer, but this gives you an idea of what the form should be. Okay. That's just a clue of what the form should be when you type it in there. However, I'm going to say something about this. For example, the order of which these variables are in here, you know, this thing's only programmed for one possibility. There's a lot of different possibilities. Well, anyway, let's just get over to the whiteboard. Ax plus b is equal to c. Okay, so we have ax plus b is equal to c, and I've already forgotten what it is we're trying to find. Solve for x. Okay, solve for x. Alright, so let's write that up here. Solve for x. Solve for x. So we want to isolate x here, and that means that let's get our constants over to the other side first off. So we have minus b. We're going to subtract b from both sides. Okay, so we have a plus b and a minus b, so that's going to cancel out. And now we're going to be left with ax is equal to, and so we're going to have a c minus b over here on the right hand side. So now what we can do is multiply through by, you want to do a different color? Let's multiply through by the reciprocal of the coefficient of x, and so that'd be 1 over a times on this side, and we can always say 1 over a over here on this side also. Alright, and let's just go ahead and put some parentheses around that. How about all these colors? And it just makes it fun when we use all kinds of colors, doesn't it? Okay, so we have 1 over a times a, so that's going to end up being 1 times x is equal to, and then this right here, we can combine this if you don't mind. We can say c minus b up here on top, and then a down here on the bottom, a on the bottom. Okay, of course we can actually rewrite this. We would write that 1 in up there, so we'd have c minus b over a. Alright, now this is all good as long as a is not 0. Of course, if a wasn't 0, this wouldn't even exist in the first place. Never mind. But that's what we got to deal with sometimes when we have a denominator, is we got to make sure that this can't be 0 down here. Okay, so we have x is equal to c minus b over a. We'll go back to the page, and let's just hit the answer here. Alright, so as you can see, this is what we get. And of course, I guess I am going to go ahead and just type this in. Now notice we're going to have parentheses up here in the top. And of course, the numerator, there's only one way of putting that. So really this only has one way. There's only one way we can do this, in a sense. Alright, I mean, technically we could rewrite this in a different way, but anyway. Alright, so where are we? We're over here at, we're somewhere. Over here at gotomath.com. You want to come on by, practice. We've got a ton of problems. Make sure you pass your class, or maybe you're just learning some math. Whoa, check that out. Alright, we'll see you later. Bye. Okay, we're here at gotomath.com. Come up here and click on Algebra. Go down to Literal Equations, and we're doing 2.2. So we have negative ax minus b is equal to c. Okay. So I need to scroll up the screen a little bit. And I believe we're solving for x in this problem. So we'll say it. Solving for x. We're going to solve for x. I think I better check back and make sure. Yeah. That's right. Solve for x. And looks like my B got a little crazy right there. Let's try to do some erasing on that. Okay. Now we got this negative sign here and out here front. Don't worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and get our constants over to one side. So that means that we can add B to both sides. Since this is the way we've been doing it, I think we'll just continue on. So we end up having negative ax is equal to c plus b. Now we want to get a 1 right here, and so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of this negative a, and its reciprocal actually is a negative 1 over a. I don't know if you knew that or not. Let's put that in parentheses. When we have a negative times a negative, we'll put that in parentheses, and using all kinds of colors going on over here. So negative 1 over a. Okay? We'll go back to blue. And so we have negative 1 over a times negative a, so that's going to be a negative, and a negative is a positive. And of course, that's going to end up being a 1. So we have 1 times x is equal to. Now I'm going to take this negative and just bring it out front, out here. And this is going to become the numerator. And that'll stay down here on the bottom. Right? And of course, we won't leave it like this. We're going to say x is equal to negative. Now remember, we're bringing this way out front here. You can't take this negative and bring it up here. If you do, you got to distribute it all the way across. So let's just leave it out there like that. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to where we came from, and c plus b over a. Can we remember that? C plus b. Actually, let's just hit the answer here. Make sure that's all good. Now, when we go to type this in up here, b plus c on top is the same thing as c plus b, but I got a feeling this thing is programmed only for what this looks like right here. So don't get confused on that. And also, I think probably I brought that negative out front. Okay. I don't know. We'll see if this combination here works. Yeah, it works. Okay. All right. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can write this in this box that's equivalent to the answer, but anyway. All right. So let's go back here to the top for some reason. Oh, we're checking out. We're going to exit this video now. Well, anyway, we're here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice, see you later. Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. Let's click on the algebra, go down to literal equations, and what are we doing? 3-1, 3.1, something like that. Okay. Alright, we have ax plus b over c is equal to d. And we're going to solve for x, so we'll just rewrite this problem right here. Solve for x. And that equation was ax plus b over c is equal to d. It's equal to d. Okay? And want to solve for x. So let's go ahead and get our coefficients over to, our constants I mean, and that means we want to take this b over c and take it over here, or that's the way I see it anyway. We're going to subtract b over c from both sides. And then we'll rewrite it. So we have ax is equal to d minus b over c. Now we can go ahead and get this into one fraction, or get this into a single fraction, whether it's proper or improper. I guess that all depends. But what these numbers are. But anyway, let's just go ahead and just do some side work over here. Let's just do this right over here. Okay. So this d right here can be written actually as d over 1 minus b over c. We need to get a common denominator, and the way to do that is we'll write c over c right here. How's that? See that? Because c times 1 is going to be c, and then therefore we get a common denominator. I don't know. Fractions is actually pretty easy to do. People make a big deal out of it. Maybe the educational process makes a big deal out of it. I don't know. So anyway, there we go. We got us a fraction. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and write that. So we have c over d minus b over c. How's that? AX. Okay. Now what we want to do is get this, turn this into a 1, and we're going to do that by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal. Just like that. All right. And so 1 over a times a is 1. We're going to rewrite this equation over here. X is equal to, and then this is going to become c over d minus b over a times c in the bottom. A times c. Alright, we got this all on one page, so we don't have to go anywhere else. Alright. CD minus b over ac. We got that. Let's just go ahead and hit the answer. See what we got going on here. All right. Now, There's several different ways, obviously. A bunch of ways you can actually write this same problem that's equivalent to it. You could put C times A down here in the bottom. You could do D times C up here in the top. So as you can see, there's two possibilities in the top, two possibilities in the bottom. So that means there's four combinations of this problem, four permutations, or however you want to see it, of of this problem here. But there's only one way to type it in up here because I programmed it for only one way, and it's probably going to be just like what you see down here in the bottom, C times D minus B. Of course, we want to put the numerator in parentheses, AC, and actually we'll have to put that in parentheses also. And I don't know, let's see what happens here. Correct. Anyway. Okay, so don't get discouraged. There's, like I said, four different possibilities, but you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. So how do you like those probabilities? Anyway, okay. So we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. We're at gotomath.com. Go up here, click on Algebra. Of course, you can't see it on the screen. I've made some changes. Literal equations, let's click on that and go to 3.2. I believe that's where we're at. Okay, so another solve for x problem. Looks like we have a over b x plus c over d is equal to 0. Solve for x. Let's go over to a marker board. Of course, this isn't my marker board on the web page. I'm just kind of checking out this one. This is Windows Journal. I didn't even know I had it. I had no idea. Messing around with Windows program. I don't know half of what's on here. Too busy doing other things. Okay, so we have a over b, which is actually a nice little marker board to write on. I like it. Plus c over, it's not as convenient, it's the one having it right on the page because I've got to rewrite the problem down. But as long as it looks good. Okay, so I was like sitting here thinking, didn't we just do this problem? I guess not. Solve for x in this problem. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this c over d. We got to get rid of that. So we want to move all the constants to one side. We're trying to isolate x. Remember, that's what's going on in this problem. We're going to do that by subtracting c over d to both sides. All right, that'll get rid of this guy here. And then we'll rewrite it. So we have a over b x is equal to negative c over d. All right. Now we want to get a 1 right here, so that means we're going to multiply through by the reciprocal, and the reciprocal of a over b, let's just do a little side work. I've been writing the reciprocal as 1 over whatever that coefficient is, remember? And of course 1 over a over b is actually just b over a. Okay, you just end up flipping this fraction. So we're going to write b over a here times, then we'll write b over a over here. So this b's cancel, a's cancel, you're left with a 1. Of course, we're going to leave that 1 off. And now what do we got going on here? Well, we got minus c over b, c times b, and d times a. Of course, this would reduce down, for example, if d and b were equal, right? Or if d goes into b, or the GCD of d and b is, let's say, more than 1, greater than 1, then we could divide that number into both of those. But anyway, we're leaving it like this, leave it general. X is equal to negative c times b over d times a. We'll go back. Let's click that. What was that again? Negative c times b d times a. Okay. Now up here, obviously you've got two different ways of doing it in the top, two different ways of writing it. In other words, this could be b times c, right, or c times b like it is, d times a, or a times d. However, remember that this box is only programmed for one possibility. X is equal to negative. Now we'll have to put the top in parentheses. No, technically we don't, and I'm not sure how I programmed it, so I'll let you figure that out. Anyway, as long as you understand how to solve for X in this problem, I don't want to waste any time on that. Let you try to figure that out. Where are we? We're over here at gotomath.com. That's where we are. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Sneezing. Hope that doesn't mean anything. Literal equations. What are we doing? I think we're doing 4.1. Let's click on it. Yeah, I sure hope that doesn't mean anything. Been sneezing. But you can't catch it. Now figure that out. A over b times x. Isn't that's the plus right there of having a virtual tutor. You won't ever catch my virus, cold virus, if I have one. I shouldn't even, I mean, it's just terrible. The epidemic is terrible here right now. A over b, but I've been hiding in the closet, so I don't think I can get it. Let's write that down. Got to write it down because we're doing something different today. Instead of using my whiteboard, we're using Windows Journal. I kind of like it. What are we doing? I think we're supposed to be solving for x, and it doesn't say that up here. It says evaluate x. This is for the checkbox. We've got some numbers to plug in there and get a decimal representation. And it's probably to 2 decimal places if needed, even though I don't say it up here. Yeah. I think we're supposed to be solving for x. I should say that here, but I left it out. So there you go. I've been kind of slacking on that stuff. Let's erase that. Alright, so let's just write it up here. Solve for... I didn't mean to write it up. I did not mean to write a 4 there. That is funny. That just happened like that. That's too weird. I'm going to leave that there. That is weird. I don't even know how to explain that. That is too weird. We got to get on with this problem. A over b, that is just freaking weird. I am telling you. This actually is pretty important stuff, what we're doing here. This whole solving for a variable is really the basic stuff that you really got to get down. I thought I was going to sneeze again. Okay, let's get this c over d over to the right hand side. Let's do that first. So we're going to add c over d. Make it kind of small here. Yeah, this is extremely important stuff here. I am not kidding, because not only that, we're dealing with fractions, which is important to deal with. We have a over b. X is equal to ED, and we won't go any further on what that means. C over D. Hey, wait a minute. We got a common denominator. I didn't even notice. That's actually nice because we can write this as A over B. Oh my God. EC, that could stand for electric cowboy. I don't know. Over D. Actually, this is working out. Okay, so reciprocal time, we're going to multiply it through by b over a to both sides. B over a. Alright. We don't have any cowboys out there, and you know. This cancels out. We're left with x is equal to. Now, we can take this guy, this b, and I'm going to rewrite this as b times e plus c over, and it doesn't matter, but we can put the a over here. It doesn't matter. I don't know what that green checkbox is programmed to do, but oh, wait a minute. That's right. We're plugging numbers in, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. Okay, can we all remember this? B EC over AD. D. See if we can all remember that. Answer BEC over, I think it was ADDA, same thing. Okay, it all looks good. Now, what you'll want to do, of course, there's only one answer to this. Looks like round to 2 decimal places. Go ahead now, plug your numbers in. Get your number, plug it in, and check it out. See what you got. All right. See what happens. Plug it in. And notice you just type in the number here. Don't type in x is equal to. Just type in the number. All right. I'll let you do that. But we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. We're over here at gotomath.com. Come up here, click on Algebra. I know you can't see that, but what are we doing anyway? 4.1, I think 4.2. Yeah. Okay. Right, we got BX, Can we remember that? That's one thing about not being able to write on this same screen. I need to refine my marker board. The colors aren't coming out nice and vibrant. I think it's got something to do with the drop shadow method I'm using or something. I don't know. Okay, what are we doing? It doesn't say, but we're going to be solving for x in this problem. Evaluate x. I probably need to add that. It's kind of confusing. Solve. Yeah, I really like this. If you notice when I'm writing this, it's real jagged, and then all of a sudden it smooths itself out. So I figured that out, but mine's a little different. This one here kind of comes back and does it where mine kind of does it on every third or fourth pixel or whatever. What are we doing? Solving for x? I think it is. These are the boys over at Microsoft built this software. Windows Journal. I think it's pretty good. Even though I did find I found some software, and unfortunately it runs only on the iPad. I'm really mad about it. It's called Notability, and it is just awesome. Except can't run it in Windows. They don't have a Windows version. I'm thinking, man, they need to get on the ball. We're solving for x in this problem, and what we can do here is, I guess we're solving for x. Surely that's what we're doing. I mean, I'm like looking at this going, it says evaluate x. I don't know. Let's go back. Okay, well, that's what we're going to do. Let's get rid of this b here. In other words, we can multiply it through by the reciprocal to both sides. We're going to find out when we see the answer here in a minute. 1 over b times b is 1. Okay, so we can drop that. Drop it like it's hot. X minus a. Isn't that like a lyrics, part of the lyrics of an old song or something? Now what we want to do is add a to both sides. Let's get rid of this constant. Add a to both sides. Okay, well, I guess this was a little complicated. X is equal to c over b plus a. Let's get this all into one fraction here. Let's do that right over here. We'll just, well, I think we got enough room to do it right here. X is equal to, not really, now that I see it. We got to get a common denominator. You notice there needs, okay, we got a 1 down here, but we need to get a b down here. And in order to do that, I think I got enough room to do this. We need to put a b over b right here. See that? Just put a b over b. It's really that simple. And then b times 1 is b. I mean, you know, people make a big deal out of fractions. I never could figure that out. C plus a times b, right? And since now we have a common denominator, it's all over b. Right? How difficult could that be? It's all about the b. Anyway, Okay, x is equal to c plus ab over b. I think that's all we needed to do, wasn't it? C plus AB over B. C plus AB over B. Looks like that's it. So up here for the checkbox, what you'll do is do the substitution. You're going to substitute C plus AB over B. So, you know what? Let's just do that. We got some time. And I'm going to use the calculator since we got a built-in calculator. We're going to go ahead and use it. C is 7. Let's just do that. A is 7 times, what is it, AB, 3 times 3, divided by B, 3. Right, so this is the calculator part. We got 9.33, so we're going to round this 2 decimal places, 9.33. So we're going to do 9.33. Didn't round. Click. Not correct. Great. Oh, it's supposed to be a fraction. I wasn't paying attention. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. Crud. It's supposed to be a fraction up here. Yeah, wasn't paying attention. I bet there was people out there going, "You're not paying attention." Do we have time to actually do this? Let's see. What do we got? We got C, which is 10 plus AB, which is 35. 10 plus 35 is 45 over 7. Let's try that out. 45 divided by 7, and that doesn't reduce down any, right? 9 times 5? No. Correct. Okay. Well, anyway, we did the demonstration on the calculator, nevertheless. Alright, sorry about all that wasted time. We got time to waste. We're over here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're here at GoToMath.com. Come up here, click Algebra. I know you can't see the button, but it's right up there. Doing 5.1. Let's click right here. Let's remember it's a fraction this time. Anyway. Okay. So I'm going to write this down because we are working on a separate window for our marker board. I'm checking out this Windows journal. They got a nice little drawing app. Got that? We're going to be solving for x, even though it doesn't say that here. But it says evaluate. Of course, this is for the checkbox only. Alright, we're going to be writing it out generally. Generally. Alright, does anybody know generally? So let's just go ahead and write this up here. Solve for x. Solve for x. I just can't imagine taking notes like this. It'd just drive me crazy if I had to do that. I like to have pen and paper to take notes if I've got to take notes. People still take notes in class, but everybody like records everything, puts it on YouTube now. Yeah, I heard the news today. I think that was a song too. Anyway, I think that was a Beatles song that Google has crapped out on their Google Glass. Oh Lord, that's terrible to say that. I was really kind of looking forward for that technology to come out and be like $50 or something. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. What are we doing? We're solving for x in this problem. Let's do it. So we have, what are we going to do? I think what we're going to do here is go ahead and distribute across a's and b's and collect up some like terms. I believe that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's distribute this a across. So we have ax minus ab plus bx minus bc is equal to 0. Okay, collecting up some like terms. Let's take these constants over to the other side because they were bad today. So let's do that. Ax and plus bx is equal to ab. Oh, by the way, I'm skipping some steps. I hope you don't mind. You know, you're all grown up now. It's time to skip steps, don't you think? So AB, moving it over to the other side, the sign changes, right? Fast way to look at this. BC, move it over to the right-hand side, the equal sign. The sign changes, okay? So they both become positive. Coefficients. Now what we've got going on here, some like terms. What we can do here is factor this x out. So let's do that. Factor out that x. We'll go ahead and rewrite. AB plus BC. We could also factor out a B here because, well, there's a B in both of these. And I may just actually do that. Usually when I have a chance to factor, I probably will. And the final answer, we're going to find out. And then we take this diagonally down, A plus B. Alright, take that diagonally down. I'm getting the jitters, I think. Alright, so we have x is equal to b times a plus c over a plus b. Can we remember that? Let's see if we can remember that. Yeah. I think, yeah, that's what I did. I factored out the b. A plus c over a plus b. Yeah, that's right. And of course, up here what you'll want to do, of course, you're going to write it as a fraction, right? You're going to want to plug your numbers in, reduce, plug them in. You want to just do that? I don't know. What's A and C? 5, B is 4, that's 20. And over 5, actually 20 over 5 reduces down to what, 4? Well, the answer should be 4. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so where are we? This is where we are. We are somewhere. We're over here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at GoToMath.com. Come up here, click on Algebra. Literal equations. 5.2. I believe that's what we're doing. 5.2. So remember, check is for the green check box. Look, if you highlight it, it says green check box. I did that because, well, when you click on the help up here, green check box. Anyway, I'm working on that, and just click on that to get rid of there. Okay, and that gives you kind of instructions on a lot of the things. There's a lot of things you can put in here, get some answers out of. Let's go ahead and write this down. Actually, we're going to be solving for x in this problem, so I should state that up here. ABX plus CY is equal to D. Trying to improve the website every day. And so you'll see changes as it evolves. Changes. There's going to be changes. What are we doing here? I need to bring up the marker board. That would be a good start. Solve for x. Solve for x. That's what we're doing. A times B. Of course, we don't do times, right? We just say AB. You know, we're all grown up now. We can do that. Plus CY is equal to D. Is equal to D. Okay, that's A times B times X plus C times Y. Solve for X. Let's get the CY over to the other side. We're going to do that by subtracting CY to both sides. Minus CY. Okay. And now we're left with AB X is equal to D minus CY. And then, of course, what we can do is multiply through by the reciprocal. Trying to get that on the screen there. We're going to need to put this in parentheses, put it in green, I guess. Alright, so there we go. Those guys are going to cancel out. We're going to be left with x is equal to D minus CY over AB. How do you like that? How do you like that? You know, it seems like we've already done this problem, but maybe we didn't. I hope I clicked on 5.2. d minus cy over ab. Yeah, 5.2. Okay, let's just hit the answer. Let's see what happens here. D minus cy over ab, x is equal to. So it's asking for a fraction. That means that you're going to want to do the substitution, plug your numbers in, okay, and then reduce it and get your fraction. Okay. Notice D is 72. Well, I did that on purpose so we don't ever get a negative number. I don't know why I did that. I don't know, but I did it anyway. But whatever. Okay, practice, practice. I'll let you practice on that. And come on by GoToMath.com. You can come over here to contact. Well, you can't see that, but it's up here on the right. Contact, send me a message. I had a message board on here, but it was really messing some stuff up for some reason on Internet Explorer and wasn't loading and all that crazy stuff. Anyway, thanks to Internet Explorer. Recommended web browser is Google Chrome, and never tested it in Firefox, but oh well. Okay, see you later. Bye. We're at GoToMath.com. Click on the algebra, even though you can't see it. Let's go to literal equations. And we are down at, we're just going to click here. We're doing 6.1 since there's only two possibilities. Probability of it coming up on the third click is pretty high. And I'll let you figure that out. Okay, what are we doing? Check value. Check, check, check 1, 2, 3. This is for the green box here. Going to get an integer, it looks like. Down here, we're going to do this generally. Solve for y. Let's write that down. Y. This equation look familiar to you? It should. Because this is the point slope form of a line. It's called the point slope form. Maybe you don't know, but I'm telling you. Something you're going to see over and over again. Let's move over to the whiteboard. What are we doing anyway? I forgot what we're doing. Solving for y. No kidding. I didn't write that part down. Solve for. I'll tell you something crazy that happened earlier. I was writing the letter F down, and it actually turned out somehow to be a 4. I don't even know how that even happened. That tripped me out. Still tripped out about that. Y minus y1 is equal to the slope, that's what this is called, believe it or not, x minus x1. X sub 1, you would say x sub 1. You've never seen that before. So we're solving for y. Looks like we're doing something pretty simple here. What do? We just add y sub 1 to both sides. All right, y sub 1. So we're giving you a break on this problem. Break time. Even though you should do the check box. Do the green check box. Green check box. I just thought of something. Anyway, I won't share it with you. So, there you go. The green check box. That should be it. M times x minus x sub 1 plus y sub 1. Let's go back. Let's click the answer. Make sure everything's cool. We just brought that over to the right. That's all we did. Big deal. But you do want to kind of do the substitution here. Gives you a little practice on that. The green checkbox. Green checkbox. Green checkbox. I really want to say what I'm thinking, but I'm afraid somebody's going to run out and do that if I did say it. What are we doing? We're done. We are done. We're over here at GoToMath.com, having a great time. See you later. Hope you're having fun too. Bye. Hey, we're at GoToMath.com. Come up here, click Algebra, Literal Equations, and 6.2. Look at that. Look at that. So we just did 6.1 2 seconds ago, where we solved for y. Now we're going to be solving for x, it looks like. Same problem, solve for x. Of course, the checkbox, we're going to substitute some numbers in for the letters. and get a numerical value. But this, we're just solving for x, so there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead, write that in up here, what we're doing, solve for x. And of course, we've got this equation, famous equation. This is the equation of a line. Believe it or not, the point-slope form of a line. If you don't know, keep up, and we'll eventually get there on graphing and all that stuff. We're solving for x in this problem, and that means this x, not that one. That's a different x. That's x sub 1. Okay, this x. This is what we're solving for. And it looks like the best way to do that is we're going to have to distribute this m across. So we have y minus y sub 1 is equal to mx. Actually, we could multiply that m. You know, there's two different ways of doing this, whatever. We're just going to do it this way, okay? Alright, distribute this m across like that. And then let's go ahead and take let's go ahead and take this to the other side. So that means we're going to add m times x of 1 to both sides, and you know what, we'll just have to write it down here. And not only that, I'm writing it in a different order, and what the heck just happened there, I don't even know. Something crazy. Alright, okay, we're going to rewrite all this stuff so it makes sense. So we end up with y minus y sub 1, and we added, I'm going to go ahead and write it back in this order here so you don't get too confused. M times x of 1 is equal to m times x. Okay. And then of course what we'll want to do here is we want to get a 1 right here. So we're going to multiply through by the reciprocal of the coefficient of x. And that means we'll have to multiply this side over here. Let's put a parentheses around all that. We're going to do that. And where are we at? We got this break in the page, which is not good, but we'll have to deal with it. We'll have to deal with that. Now, what I'm going to do here is something amazing. Not really. Plus m x of 1 over, put that m down here, right, is equal to x. Okay, y minus y sub 1 plus m times x of 1 over m. Let's see what happens here. Y minus y sub 1. Alright, I believe, of course, the x is over here, but it doesn't matter. I'm writing it in more of a standard form. Y minus y sub 1 plus m x of 1 over m. I think that's what we had, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. Of course, up here you're going to want to substitute, right, some numbers in for these variables, and then simplify this thing down, and hopefully everything works out. It should. If you think that you put the answer incorrect and it's saying it's wrong, make sure that you come up here, hit contact, and let me know about that. All right, but I try to check these things a million times before we actually do a video of them. All right, so we're up here at, but there's always that possibility. Okay, we don't live in a perfect world. We're up here at gotomath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later. Okay, we're over at gotomath.com. Come up here, click Algebra. Literal equations 7.1, I think we're finally getting to. Things are starting to get a little more complex. Of course, this is for the checkbox up here. Looks like we're going to be tossing some integer or fraction or something in there. I don't know. Solve for x. And by the way, this is a special equation here. Let you figure out what that is. Solve for x, and remember what that is? I think I can. since it's so special. Scroll down, you don't need to see that up there. Solve for x. So we have x plus x of 1. So we're taking the average, aren't we? Taking the average of two numbers, isn't that what that's going on there? And then we have y plus y sub 1, taking the average of some y values, and it's equal to some number. We'll say a over here. But, so we've got this set up, but we want to solve for x in this problem. Yes, we do. And what we're going to do here is a trick to get rid of these 2's down here in the bottom. And I'm going to multiply through by 2 to everything. And what we do to the left-hand side, we got to do to the right. Normally I wouldn't put the 2 over here, but we're going to because I didn't leave enough room there. Alright. So the 2's cancel out. Now we're left with x plus x of 1 plus y sub 1 is equal to, we'll go ahead and throw that 2 over here in the front. That's usually what we do. Okay, we're solving for x in this problem, so let's take this, this, and this over to the right hand side. And you know what? We're not going to go through the baby steps again. Rewrite that 2a. So if I take x of 1 over to the right, it becomes a minus x of 1. Remember, the sign changes. And then, of course, same thing with the y and minus y sub 1. All right. I think we're done on that. Can we remember that? Minus x of 1 minus y, da da da. Okay, let's come up here. Hit, I think it was minus everything, wasn't it? Minus x of 1 minus y sub 2. Y sub 2? Lost my mind or what? There's a y sub 2 right here. Okay. Okay, I meant to write y sub 2. Anyway, doesn't matter, you got it. Y sub 2 is y sub 1. I'm not redoing this video. Forget it. Take one, be done. Yeah, this kind of rhymes. I'm not sure why. I don't know why there's a y sub 2 there, but it is, and that's what it is. And it is what it is, okay? So there you go. I guess I wasn't paying attention, but anyway. Alright, never mind. Everything else looks good. Okay, if it looks good, eat it. That's what they said. We're over here at gotomath.com. See you later. Practice someday. Bye. Alright, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Go down to literal equations. What are we doing? 7.2, I believe. Wow, is that thing ever going to come up? Alright, make sure I write this one down this time. Y sub 2 correctly. Last problem, I put y sub 1 there. I don't know what's going on with that, but we're moving on. Okay, so we got the same thing, except we've got an x, got a y sub 2. Can we remember all that? Solve for x in this problem. Let's do it. So solve for x. Alright. So we got x plus x of 1 over 2 plus y plus, for some reason, y sub 2. Who knows why? And there's a reason why I'm saying that, because you're probably like, well, what difference does it make? Well, anyway. And then I think we got an ax. We got a little crooked there on that, didn't we? Here, let's straighten that up. For crying out loud. We've got a virtual eraser. Let's do it. I'm not sure that's any better. Alright. Let's get rid of these 2's. That's going to be the first thing I do. And that means I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And once again, I didn't really allow myself much room there. Now the 2's are going to cancel out, so we have x plus x of 1 plus y sub 2 is equal to 2 times ax. Right? This way we don't have to deal with them fractions. Yeah, those are nasty. Alright, what are we going to do here? We got 2 times a times x. Let's take this x over to this side. So we're going to march him right over there. We're going to do that. And since it's a positive coefficient, when we take it over here, it becomes negative. So now we have x of 1 plus y sub 2 is equal to 2a times x minus x. Look at that. I don't know. Have we talked about factoring? Probably not. I don't know if we have or not, but I guess you'll learn. So there's an x, and we're going to pull it out. I think maybe you're supposed to know that by the time we do this. I'm not sure. Maybe not. We'll get to it. So we factored out this x. Whoa, what was that? Erase that. And I guess I better rewrite all this stuff. This algebra that I've got is kind of a compilation. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I've tried to combine intermediate algebra with college algebra and just call it algebra. And college algebra is really just high school algebra, but it's what they call it anyway. What we're going to do now is take this 2a minus 1 and of course you're more than likely watching this from some other country other than the US, and you might have done this when you were like 3 years old. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get you up to par though. So I take this diagonally down. You see that? This is the same thing as multiplying one, the reciprocal to both sides. If I do it over here, I should also do it over here, but I'm not doing it over here, so forget it. Okay? I'm just kind of showing you that. All right. In other words, I just diagonally took it down there. One thing we got to say about this is the denominator can't be 0. So 2a minus 1 cannot equal 0 because you can't divide by 0. But I don't get too picky about that. Alright, this is just all about moving stuff around. Learn how to move it around. What do we got? Can we remember this? x1 plus y sub 2 over 2a minus 1. Maybe I need to remember it. X of 1 plus y sub 1 plus, yeah. Okay, so that looks like that's it. And that is 2. 2 is 4. Oh, that's going to always be greater than, because that's going to always be a 1. So that'll always be positive, yeah. Anyway, I was just looking at something. Okay, well, you can go ahead, plug in your numbers if you want. Get that fraction, put it there, check it out. We're over here at gotomath.com. I think I need to take a break. Yeah, this stuff wears me out. Alright, come on by, check it out, practice, see you later. Okay, we're here at gotomath.com. Click up here on the algebra. Let's go down to the literal equation section. 8.1. Where are we at? Right here? There we are. There we are. Evaluate D. Solve for D. That's what it says. Of course, this is going to be for the green checkbox. Alright, AB equals CD plus E. Can I remember that? I hope so. Let's go over here. What are we solving for? D? I think I need to remember that first. Solve for D. So we have AB equals CD plus E. Yes. Okay. Want to solve for D. My God. What are we going to do here? Let's take let's just go ahead and take this E to the other side. Let's do that. And that means we're going to be subtracting E. Subtracting E from both sides. And therefore we're going to have A over B minus E equals C over D. So we got several different ways of doing this problem, but this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to actually A, B, C, D plus C, making sure that stuff's the same. Let's get one single fraction right here, and since there is a 1 down here, we need to get a common denominator. Well, that's pretty easy to do. Let's use green. That's a B, so we're going to write B over B right here. See that? It's pretty simple. Now we got a common denominator. We can say A minus E times B over B is equal to C over D. Equal to C over D. We're trying to solve for D in this problem, so we've got to get this D up into the numerator. And where we're going to do that is, there's actually a trick. There's actually a trick. You could flip this fraction, flip that, and be done with it. But I think we better just use the rules of algebra to do that. Let's follow the blue line and just carry that right up here. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply both sides by D. Multiply both sides by D. Let's do that. Okay. Let's not skip any steps. And so we end up with D, I'm going to put a parentheses here, A minus E times B over B. Okay. And that's going to be equal to, so those D's will cancel out, and that's equal to C. Equal to C. Now what I can do is I can take this B diagonally up. In other words, I'm multiplying both sides by B. Should we skip that step? Maybe we shouldn't. Multiply both sides by B. Alright, and so now we're left with D times A minus E times B is equal to C times B. C times B. Okay. And I am going to skip this step. So we would multiply through by the reciprocal of this guy here, but you know that's the same thing as taking that diagonally down. Alright. So we're left with D is equal to C times B over A minus EB. A minus EB. Now remember what I said here? That you could just flip this and this would be B over A minus EB, right? And this would be D over, this would end up being D over C. And then of course you'd multiply both sides by C, and that's how the C would get up here in the numerator, C times B. Anyway, you know, that's the trick you need to really learn. But we kind of went through the algebraic way, except we skipped this step here. Okay, so there you go. Let's go back to the home page and hope that is correct. D equals C times B. Well, I mean, I know this is correct, but hope I got it programmed correctly. C times B, A minus E, B. That's what I hate about. See, I normally use the marker board here, but we are checking out some other things. D is equal to C times B, A minus EB. Checking out this guy, A minus, yeah, that looks good. Alright, and then of course I'll let you go up here, substitute in, and see what you got going on there. Hopefully everything works out. A is 5, E and B. You know that's going to end up being a negative number most of the time. What's the probability? Here's a question for you, right? Of course, you need to know what the range is on each one of these guys. What's the probability this is a negative number? Right, randomly selected, some randomly selected numbers, 1 through 10 for each. What's the probability? D is negative. That's your homework. Some point in time I'll be adding a big section to that. Show you how to figure that out. What are we doing? We're done. That's what we're doing. We're over here at GoToMath.com. Come on by, practice. See you later, alligator. Okay, we're over here at GoToMath. Having a good old time. Click on Algebra. Let's go down to Literal Equations. 8.2, I believe. Look, what's the probability 8.2 comes up? I'm all about that probability stuff. Check E, check box, check baby 1, 2, 3. Evaluate A given. Okay, well, we got to figure out what A is first, I suppose. Whoa, what is all that? I'm going to have to write that one down. A times B, C plus. If you don't know how to do a probability, find the probability of whatever. I'm telling you, if you learn just like 3 seconds of a programming language, you can solve some extremely complex probability problems. I am not kidding you. And hopefully I'll be adding some of that to my channel, maybe to the website. I need to create a programming part, I guess. We got that? What are we doing? We're solving for A. Can we remember that? Remember that, please. Solve for A. What does A stand for? It could be anything, I suppose. Solve for A. Yes, you can really calculate some probabilities with just a few lines of code. Some very complicated stuff. A, B. At least it's an approximation anyway, but that's usually good enough. Is that D? What did I write down? D. D could be anything. Distance. I don't know. And E. What could that be? Alright. What are we doing? We're solving for A. That's what we're doing. Solve for A. Whoa. This is craziness. We could factor the A out. Get it all into one fraction. Should we do that? We can multiply through by C all the way across, then by D all the way across. We could do that too. I'm going to factor this A out. I don't know. Let's do that. There's a lot of different ways of doing this problem, by the way. B over C plus B over D. Is there really B in both of those? I guess there is. It's equal to the eyeball. Let's get this all into one single fraction there. So let's add both these fractions. Now, in order to do that, we've got to have a common denominator. And that means I'm going to multiply this side by D over D, and then this side by C over C. Do you see that? Now we have C times D and D times C. Well, we have common denominator. See, there's nothing to doing fractions. I don't know. You know, people make a big deal out of it. B times D plus B times C, that's up there, numerator stuff, and then C times D. Alright, C times D is the same thing as D times C. Hopefully you know that by now. Okay, so what do we got going on now? Well, we can multiply by the reciprocal. You're like going, whoa, what the heck? Reciprocal of that? Yeah, that's right. 1 over all that. But this is the way that we're going to actually do this. A is equal to, so just take this and bring it diagonally up. Take this, bring it diagonally down. So we end up with E times, taking this, C times D, over B times D. Alright, well, let's not make a big deal out of this. Let's definitely not lose any sleep. B times C. Alright, see all that? I know this looks like a mess. Anyway, we have A is equal to, now what you could do is just take this E up to the numerator. I mean, it is up in the numerator, but whatever. E times C times D, B times D plus B times C. It seems like my handwriting is getting worse. Probably need to eat something. I think I'm low on something. Carbohydrates. Alright, let's go over here and see what happens here on all that. C, D, E. Is that what I got? C, D, E. Written in a different order. B, D, B, C. B, D, B, C, C, B. Same thing. It's just slightly written in a different order, but that's okay. Up here it's not going to matter when you put it in here, because once we plug our numbers in, C, D, and E, B, D, making sure everything's up here, B, D, C, B, okay, evaluate A. Alright, anyway, I'll let you do that. What's going on there? Why is that highlighted? We're over here, GoToMath.com. Need to get something to eat. Whoa. I don't know if you heard that or not, but computer just said, guess what? You got 3% battery life. Alright, well, there we go. We're going to stop. Have a good day. See you later. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Okay, we're over here, GoToMath.com. Click on the Algebra. Let's go down to Literal Equations. And I believe we're doing 9.1. Get that to come up. Okay, so this is obviously for the checkbox here, but we want to solve for B. Solve for B. Okay, so let me go and let's go to the whiteboard. And I'll just rewrite this. Okay, so we want to solve for B. And we have A over B plus C over D is equal to E over F minus G over B. Minus G over B. Alright. Well, we have an A over B, a G over B, and what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take this over to this side of the equal sign, and we'll move the C over D over here to the right. And the reason we're doing that is because we have a B here, and so we'll end up having two fractions that have the same denominator. Okay, so we end up with A over B. Moving this over to the left is going to make that positive. G over B. And moving the C over D over, since it's positive, we move it to the right, it'll become negative. We'll go ahead and rewrite that. So minus C over D. Okay, so we can go ahead and add these two fractions together. Nothing special there, since we have a common denominator. However, we do need to join both these fractions together, but we're going to need to get a common denominator. Let's just do some side work right over here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that E over F minus C over D. We use green, how's that? Okay, so we need to get a D times F here, and then an F times D. And the easy way to do that is we'll just write D over D out here, and then F over F on this side here. So now we have a D times F, so both those numbers are going to be the same. And then of course we can just add the tops. So we end up with D times Z minus C times F over, right, we can go ahead and just write D times F down here. Okay. Alright. But remember, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to solve for B. Now here's a trick we can do. We're going to do a trick. We'll do that trick right here. So we can just flip this fraction. This becomes B over A plus G. And then we got to flip this fraction here. D times F over D times E minus C times F. Okay. So this is the same thing as taking the B up diagonally up here, taking the DF diagonally down here, and then moving that diagonally and that diagonally that way. Okay. We're just skipping some steps. Now we can go ahead now and just take this A plus G diagonally up to the top. So we end up with B is equal to D times F, and then a plus g over d times e minus c times f. Okay? So can we remember all that? We're going to find out. So d times f, a plus g, de minus cf. All right. Something I don't do in a lot of these problems, and I just went ahead and did it in this one, and that is stating that this can't be 0 down here in the bottom. So in other words, we can't get their difference cannot equal 0 because you can't divide by 0. Now, in a lot of the other problems I don't even state this, but I just went ahead and stated it in this problem, just due to the fact that we're just kind of learning how to move stuff around and solve for one of these variables. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and let you take these numbers, plug them in, and get something out. And I believe it's going to be to 2 decimal places, since the example here is to do 2 decimal places. All right, even though I don't state it up here, I probably should. Okay, so we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, check it out. See you later. Okay, we're here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to literal equations. And 9.2 is what we are looking at. So in this particular one here, of course, I think 9.1 was solved for B, but we're going to be solving for B again. It's just written a little differently. So we have A over B plus C over D is equal to E over B minus G over B. Alright, solve for B. Okay, so let's go ahead, move over here. Solve for B. Alright. We have A over B plus C over D. C over D is equal to E over B minus G over B. We have two fractions over here on the right that have the same denominator, so let's just go ahead and join them together, and that just means we're just going to add the tops, or in this case subtract the tops, I guess you could say. Now this side we have a B, and we have a B over here. Let me just go ahead and rewrite this stuff on the left. I'm going to go ahead and do something. Let's go ahead and take this AB here, and let's just move it to this side right over here. All right. So that means we're going to be left with C over D all by its lonesome, E minus G over B minus A over B. We have a common denominator, so we can just join those together, and I guess we'll just continue this over here to this side. So we have C over D is equal to E minus G minus A over, since we have a common denominator, right, over B. Okay, and then we can just take this D diagonally and bring it up to the top. Well, what am I doing? Never mind. Forgot what I was doing. We're not solving for C, we're solving for B. We are solving for B. And that means that what we can do here is we can flip both of these fractions. Now, I think I'll just continue this down here. Okay, so we can flip these fractions. We have D over C is equal to b over e minus g minus a. Okay, and then we can just diagonally take this stuff in the bottom up here to the top. All right, so we'll have d times e minus g minus a over c is equal to b, So back over here, if we were to take this over to the left hand side, I'm not sure why we'd want to do that, but anyway, I guess what I'm getting at here is this could actually look different. We could be factoring a negative out and make that a negative e, positive g, and a positive a. So this could be written differently, and I think maybe the answer is, but let's just remember what we got here. We got d over c, e minus g, e a, No, I guess I got the same thing. Okay, d times d over c and e g a. Alright. Okay, well, I'll let you go ahead and put in some numbers and see what we get out here. And once again, it looks like if you need to, it could be rounded to 2 decimal places if needed. I guess that's what I should say. In other words, if it's just an integer, like comes out to be 5, then you would just put 5 in there. Alright. Okay. Well, we're over here at gotomath.com practicing solving for variables in an equation. Come on by. See you later. Okay, we're at gotomath.com and come down to literal equations 10 point, I believe we're doing 10.1. 10.1. Solve for y in this equation. Look at that nasty thing. Alright, let me write that down. Maybe give you some time to write it down. Okay. Bring up the whiteboard. We're solving for y. Solve for y. Okay, so we have a times b times c. I mean, I know it looks like ABC, but it's what it is. X minus y is equal to d times e times x minus f times y. And we're wanting to solve for y in this problem. Now the best way to do this is to go ahead and distribute this ABC across each one of these variables and then distribute the d across. So let's do that. So we end up with a times b times c x, right, multiplying that by x, then we'll multiply that by y, minus abc y is equal to, then distribute this d across, d times e times x minus d times f times y. Okay. Now let's collect up our like terms. We're trying to solve for y here. Okay. So we have a y in this term, y in this term, and what do you want to do? Let's just go ahead and take this to this side, and then we'll take the dex over to the left. How's that? So that's the plan. So we have a times b times c times x, taking this over, so since it's a positive coefficient, it's a negative, becomes negative. D times e times x is equal to, and then bringing that over to the right, we have a times b times c y minus d times f times y. Okay. Now we can go ahead and if we can, we'll just go ahead and factor this x out. Okay. And I'll take that x and bring it out front. So A times B times C minus D times E. Okay? And we'll do the same thing here. We'll factor this y out. A times B times C minus D times F, factoring out the y. Okay. And remember, we're trying to solve for y. Now you can take this, now really we're multiplying through by the reciprocal of this whole thing right here. But, you know, the shortcut way is just take it diagonally down here. Okay? That's kind of what we really want to learn. So we end up with x times A times B times C minus D times E, and it's all over A times B times C minus D times F. And no need to put parentheses around that. And of course that's all equal to y, but I think in the answer in a standard form I always write the variable over here that we're solving for. Okay, so let's take a look at this. ABC minus DE over ABC minus DF. So let's go back. Hopefully that's it. Okay, X, I remember that being at the top. ABC minus DE, ABC minus DF. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. Okay, so looks good. And I'll let you go ahead and plug the numbers in and see how that works out. Of course, this looks like rounded to 2 decimal places here, if needed. If needed. Okay, so we're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by and practice. See you later. Okay, we're over here at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to literal equations and 10 point something. 10.2? How's that? 10.2. We're solving for y again. We're just kind of stuck on that, aren't we? This one here doesn't look as bad. Of course, you never know. You never know if you don't go. I forgot how that song goes. You'll never know. It's a Smash Mouth song. To the back streets. That's what it is. You'll never know if you don't go to the back streets. Song haunts me to this day. Anyway, it's a long story. You can go to huntforthecash.com and at least get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, AB x minus y, CD y plus c y, yeah. Solve for y. Okay. I'd say it's a hobby of mine, but math is kind of a hobby of mine. And you know what? I think we're solving for y if I remember right. It's all about treasure hunts, finding the lost treasure. Solve for y. Isn't that right? Yeah. Okay. So I have this other website. Imagine that. And I do treasure hunts. And these aren't, they're not exactly treasure hunts that you probably have ever gone on before, I promise. And they're not like some treasure hunt where you got to solve for X, okay? There's math in it, but it's all hidden. You'll never see it. Only your subconscious mind's allowed to look at it. Okay, well, we better just get on with this. Solve for y. Where are we at? There it is. There's a y there, and a y there. We got to get all these y's together somehow, because they've got to meet up. And then elect one president. I don't know. Let's distribute this A across. We have A. Probably like, can we just do this problem, please? I'm tired of listening to your BS. C times D times X plus C times Y is equal to E times y. Okay, e times y. Well, I mean, that's just the way things are, you know. Let's go ahead and, what do you want to do? We got a negative here. We got much of a choice. Let's go ahead and take these y's. Get the orange going here. We're going to take these y's over here, and this one over here, and then we'll just leave the x's over to the left. How's that? Okay, so we have abx plus cdx is equal to, so we're just going to go ahead and rewrite this one here, e times y. We'll go ahead and bring that one over now, plus a times y, and then minus c times y. How's that? Let's go ahead and factor this x out, just because we can. AB plus CD is equal to, and we'll want to factor out this y obviously, e plus a minus c. Whoops. Don't know what happened there. Here's something you got to really watch out for. This is how mistakes are made. You notice I wrote an E here, and then I wrote a C here, but don't these kind of look the same? So be careful, because I may mistake that next time as another E, or that as a C. So we want to make sure we really define that stuff. And like I said, this is how mistakes are made, when you write and then it morphs and you think it's something else, and before you know it, your answer's wrong. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead, rewrite AB plus CD over, what's going on there, E plus A minus C. And even after telling you that, I actually looked at that and I almost wrote an E. So watch out for that. Okay, a couple things could happen here. You may end up scrambling this stuff around and be a negative out here in front or something, but you know, you could factor a negative out of the bottom. That would be negative, that would be negative, and then that would become positive, and you would throw your negative out here in the front. So we got to kind of look for that when we look at the answer here. Okay, so we have AB plus CD. AB plus CD. Can you remember that? Yeah. AB plus CD. CEA. And that's exactly what happened. I don't know. So when I worked this out, when I went into the programming here, it looked like that for some reason I'd factored a negative out here and put it out front. Who knows why, but I did. It just depends on how you solve for this thing. So we have positive C, minus A, minus E. Let's see. Let's go back, make sure. Positive C, yeah. Okay, so a negative got factored out, but they're all the same. Same thing. So you want to come in, plug some numbers into this thing, and looks like round to 2 decimal places if needed. Okay. Alright, that was 10.2. I think we're going to be finished with this section now. We're over here at gotomath.com. Come on by, check it out. See you later.